Well, hello. Thank you for joining me for another episode of my Formula One journey. It's been a while, but we're back to it. So this is Formula One 2009 for the Wii. It was the only one that was actually created for the Wii. For some reason, they went from 2007 on the PS3 to nothing, and then in 2009 they created the Wii version. As you can see, I'm having a bit of difficulty getting to grips with it. But we'll jump cut to when I actually realised how to control the car. With it being a Wii game, obviously graphics not the best. Bit of a downgrade from what we saw last year on the PS3 one, well, last version on the PS3. But handles very arcadey, so it's taking a little bit of time to get to grips with it. But ignore my Dodgem style driving, unfortunately. Still haven't got any better. This footage was recorded a while ago, and I haven't gone back to redo it, so yeah, so enjoy. I will drop in and out just to add tidbits of information, but this is Formula 1 2009, the only one to my knowledge released for the Wii. So we're coming up to the end of the race now. It's not been too bad. The controls took a bit of getting used to, and it's not great. I think for a first attempt, different developer, they threw something together, got it out the door. It does the job. It's not bad. It's not as good as the PS2 Sony ones. It reminds me more of the EA ones, but it was kind of just thrown together. Because I remember they did the Wii version, the DS version. I think there was a PSP version as well. That probably would have been the best one. But graphically, it's okay. It suffers from a lot of the games, the issues the games did on the Wii back then, of being low resolution, 480p, PS2-esque. But then again, the Wii wasn't that powerful. But the one thing I did like about this one, as you'll see here, they had like a challenge mode, which was kind of interesting. So it sets you kind of little challenges to do as you're going through your career, and the control scheme still took a while getting used to on the Wii for me. But just having a quick look at the settings here. But the challenge mode was quite interesting. So it's kind of like the challenges you get on Gran Turismo, where you'd have to pass so many cars or do the test for your licenses. They've got that kind of challenge thing on here, so it's kind of interesting. So when I actually navigate my way to it, you'll see a bit more of it. But I thought it was probably the standout thing for this version. But again, it's not a lot, really. It'd probably take you a couple of hours to get through it, and then you'd just be doing the usual Formula 1 mode. So it's not bad. It's not worth picking up, going at your way to find, but back at the time it would have been decent. I think, anyway. That is when it actually let you load into the game, where it doesn't think there's a problem with the control scheme. And that was F1 2009 for the Wii. So next up, we've got the first technical new HD era game that would have been by Codemasters. So it's F1 2010. This would have been on the Xbox 360. This started the current series, which is still going into F1 23. It's still Codemasters, but no, it's Codemasters EA. But this was the first true, full, new HD current series with updated rosters when it released back in 2010. And already you can see graphically it looks a lot nicer. But yeah, let's see how we get on. The thing that's just apparent is just looking at the graphics on this one, just the spray that covers the screen, and it's artificial because it's wet. It's not like what you would use today in ray tracing. But just back in 2010, having those kind of effects was revolutionary. You never had anything like that in a game like this before. And there is still a little bit of graphical tearing, but that's something that will happen a lot more as time goes on, as you'll probably see.
That's a new fastest lap for the race.
Look at that, oh well, I tried. But the thing I found with this one is the handling was a lot better than the Wii one. It was a lot less arcadey, a lot more simulation, but still with a little bit of arcadiness to it. But racing line helps. I always use the racing line because I'm terrible at remembering the circuits. But fantastic game for its time. Graphically, looks amazing. The weather effects are fantastic. Whoa, don't hit the wall there. Not on the last corner. That's obviously unrealistic, but yeah, it was a shame. It was a good race up until then, especially in the wet at Canada. But really good, solid entry. Handling was great. Graphics were great. Can't really fault it. The presentation was what you would expect at the time from the TV show, and when it used to be on terrestrial TV, if you can remember back then, before Sky. Fantastic game. And this continued into the next game, which is Formula 1 2011. Now, the downside of this one is I'm using the original Xbox 360 fat model and the slim. I alternated between them for this game, and if you run the game at 1080p, you will sometimes get graphical glitches or screen tearing. Now, that was unfortunate on the 360 because a lot of developers are still learning HD coding, and some of the games were a little bit rough sometimes, looking at you, Capcom. But again, sort of apologise for the driving style. But they've added a few new things to this one. Graphically, again, a little bit of a tweak, but the handling was a lot more slippery. Now, that's kind of ironic considering the last race was full wets and I was slipping all over the course. But yeah, I didn't get on with this one too well. Even though it's just a annual sequel, they adjusted something in the settings. Now, if I was playing it a lot, do the championship mode, I would have adjusted it. But as it's just a pick up and play, is how the series is, it wasn't as approachable as the first. But we'll see. We'll see how we get on. think at this point I just didn't understand how I'd managed to just go off. I think when I was playing it, I thought I got like a little tap from behind, but you can clearly see I just drive off the course. I have no idea how that happened. I think I wasn't as comfortable playing this one just as a pick up and play compared to the last one. I think they have done something with the handling to make it more simulation and less arcadey, which is fine. But 2010 was a lot more pick up and play, a lot easier, a bit more approachable. But again, if you're playing it a lot, you won't have that problem because you will just adjust it, tweak it, get the settings as you want them. But it just wasn't as approachable for me.
DRS is now enabled.
So with this, I just had enough now. Last lap, given a penalty, I wondered how the physics worked in terms of crashing. As you can see, pretty good. The damage models have improved. So, yeah, 2011, downgrade in my opinion from 2010. But we'll march on, we'll move on to, as you can probably imagine, the imaginative sequel title of F1 2012. Which, for some reason, on a lot of these races, it likes putting me in the wet. And you can see a bit more graphical tearing again, but again, step up on the visuals. The rain effects look fantastic, and I like playing as Williams. I've used to follow Williams a lot in the younger days. You know, Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill. You can remember that far back. I just like playing as Williams, but I like how it shows how difficult it would be as an F1 driver for you to see the cars in the spray. Because again, even though I'm playing it like a Dodgems, it's very difficult to see where the markers are for the corners, and you imagine what it's like for them in real life. Still had a decent start on this one, so let's see if we can crack on and actually get me a win. I've had a podium, we need a win. And there you go, the wind slowly slipping away. I spoke too soon, I think. Come on, we can still do this, come on.
DRS is now disabled due to wet weather tyres. Okay, we lost that position. Put some pressure on him and try to get it back.
Okay, realistically we may need to settle for a P16 now. But let's face it, that's Williams in real life now anyway, isn't it? So, if you do follow Formula 1 that is, but we rarely get in the points. So we are coming to the end of this episode. So this has featured F1s through 9 till 12. We will be moving on to a next gen title in the next one, most likely 2015. But Xbox One, PS4 will be the next generation we look at. So thank you for watching this. If you are enjoying it, give me a like, subscribe, and a comment. Anything helps. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you soon. Bye.